Hello Internet, my name is Lave and I watched Slaughterhouse Rulez, which is co-written and directed by Crispian, who is someone I had to look up. He does have another directorial credit to his name, which was A Fantastic Fear of Everything, which also starred Simon Pegg, who also pops up in this, but the film predominantly follows a working class kid called Don Wallace, who reluctantly gets sent to an elite boarding school where he clearly doesn't fit in. However, it turns into a battle of survival when a fracking company causes a sinkhole to open up, unearthing some nasty surprises. So as I mentioned, Simon Pegg is in this film. He plays one of the teachers who gets caught up in all of the shenanigans, and he's alright in it. It's nothing you haven't really seen from him before. Nick Frost is also in this film. He plays an environmentalist campaigning against the fracking which is happening outside of the school. And yeah, it's not exactly comedy gold from him, but it's nice to see them both in the same film together, and it's hard not to think of the Cornetto trilogy, which were films which were perfect homages to zombie, action and sci-fi horror films, and this one feels like it's a homage to those Edgar Wright films. It just comes across as a cheap imitation of it though. And I'm not just saying that to be a dick, it's blatantly obvious. They use similar editing techniques with whip pans and quick cuts, which have none of the same panache as Edgar Wright's films, and they use similar visual gags, which includes a knockoff fence jump scene, which just isn't as funny. There's plenty of other visual jokes and Easter eggs for movie lovers and nerds to point at and laugh. I picked up on Aliens and Star Wars. They have a character which is basically Malfoy on steroids, so Harry Potter. Lord of the Rings is in there, and even a 300 joke, which is so predictable that when it happened, everyone in my audience groaned instead of laughed. It's just very, very lazy stuff. And this extends to the characters too. Finn Cole, who you might recognise from Peaky Blinders, does okay as Don Wallace, the main character, but he is a bland character. His roommate, on the other hand, Willoughby, is a more interesting character, but Asa Butterfield's performance is so bland, I was hoping his character would be the first to die. The rest of the characters are paint by numbers. Michael Sheen turns up as the head teacher. Margot Robbie even has a small cameo. I was like, what are you doing in this? But the rest of the story itself is also very paint by numbers, which seems to take forever, setting everything up in the first and second act, and it doesn't pay off in a big way in the third act, which is when it's throwing all of these movie references at you, hoping to get a laugh. The only positive I can think of is that some of the practical effects did remind me a little bit of Ghostbusters, but all of the other jokes, I think the only jokes that did make me laugh were in the trailer. So that's my thoughts on Slaughterhouse Rulez, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. It's not the worst movie I've seen this year, but for a horror comedy I felt it was very light on the laughs and on the scares. I know Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are producers on this, and if you take them out of the equation, I'm not sure what else this film has got going for it. It's so heavily reliant on their fan base, me being one of them, and to be honest, when I was watching it, I just wanted to watch Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz again, which are the real deal. This does feel like a knockoff. So let me know what you thought of Slaughterhouse Rulez if you've seen it down in the comments. And as always, thanks very much for watching this review. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like and don't forget to share the Lave. Cornetto. Subscribe